This is Mason of Anime Addicts Anonymous, and I'm here today to talk about manga, specifically one of my favorite little Easter eggs, what I'm calling the secret cover. Now this isn't that hard to find, it's not that hidden in Japanese editions of manga, but it's rarely used in the West, and I think it's pretty neat, and I don't think many people know about it. So I want to give some of my favorite examples and kind of tell you what it is. So to clarify, when I say a Japanese edition of a manga, as you know, chapters come out weekly, monthly, or sporadically in these manga anthology series. And when enough chapters come out of a series, roughly 10 chapters or so, they are accumulated into a tankobon volume, and this is the most common format that you'll find series in Japan. Now we're also going to cover widebon, isobon, and a bunch of others here, but really that's what I mean. So with that said, let's get into the secret cover. So the first manga we're going to look at today is Shinya Shokudo, aka Midnight Diner. And right off the bat, this is actually not a tankobon volume, but a widebon volume, which makes it approximately the same size of most English releases. And really, at the heart of it, what a secret cover is the cover of the book beneath the dust jacket or sleeve that wraps from cover to cover. And what I love about secret covers is that they feel like a present, because you never know what you're going to get on the other side, and we'll go through a bunch of different examples. Here, Yoroabe utilizes the space to create a spread painting the Shinjuku district at nighttime. It makes it feel like you yourself are walking through, perhaps looking for the Midnight Diner, almost inviting you into the book in a way. Now compare that to Dark Horse's pressing of Satoshi Kon's opus. You'll first notice that the two volumes are of the same size, thanks to the widebon format of Midnight Diner. The second, of course, is that this is an English version, and I love the stop you're reading this from the wrong side thing that a lot of them do. But you will notice that, as with most English releases, there is no dust jacket. There is no outer sleeve that protects the main cover of the book. And because of that, there is just no secret cover to hide. There are three things I want to bring up in this next example, utilizing the beautiful Tongari Boshi no Atelier, or Witch Hat Atelier. First is the strip of paper known as an obi or tasuki that covers the bottom third of the cover. Sometimes called a belly band in English, these strips of paper are used as an advertisement or announcement of anime adaptations, number of units sold, future publications, and all sorts of little things that might make you more interested in buying the product. Another reason I love dust jackets, besides the fact that they can introduce a secret cover, is that they can also be used to extend the cover a bit where there isn't room, and make a more cohesive image. And going back to the obi just for a second to see how they incorporated it into the spine of the manga to keep the shape of Coco intact. Love that. So the final thing I want to bring up is that this is volume 1 of Witch Hat Atelier. And you can see, as you see, the backside also has the extended cover edition. I mean, that's just gorgeous. So yeah, this is volume 1 as I said, and you can see the witch hats, making the pattern, and the volume 1 stylizing you, lets you know what volume it is. And on the back you can see the spell books that they write their spells on. And what we have here is volume 2. Once again, you can see very similar style of cover. You can see how they extend it a bit. And you can see, besides the different color combination, is that they use a different image in the inner diamond, which I think is just a nice touch. It's cohesive, but it's still unique. Really quick, I just wanted to bring up an example of the bunkobon format. These are often used for fiction publications that are novels. Here we have the Tatami Galaxy. If you know anything about me, you know I'm not going to not talk about that series. And you can see, even in these novel formats, they have the dust jacket, and even though the secret cover is pretty plain and simple, wanted to highlight it. So next I want to start going through some genres, or stylistic approaches to the secret cover. Here we have Berserk, Frieren, and 20th Century Boys, using one of my least favorite types of techniques, what I call the alternate color. They take the cover of the manga and just turn it into a monochrome version of it. It gets the job done, but honestly it always bums me out a little bit. That said, these are all fantastic manga, and I'm nowhere near saying this isn't a reason to pick them up. Next, we have two variants of the alternate color scheme. First is Oshinoko, which takes the same basic cover, but blasts it with an all pink and white design, and changes up some of the text and effects to give it a new coat of paint. Next, we have Mushishi, which uses the monochrome effect for each cover, but varies the color based on the volume. You'll also notice that the secret cover switches the text around, zooms in slightly, and in the case of volume 10, actually flips the front and back side of it. The next genre of secret covers is what I like to call comic covers, and we have 4 manga to illustrate this. The 3 we have here are Beastars, Kaguya-sama Love is War, and Blue Period. And as you can see on the front and back cover, additional 4-koma style strips are added in for extra content. These comics are sometimes still printed in the back pages of Western editions, but I don't know, I still like the Easter egg aspect of these. The 4th manga I want to highlight in the comic genre is Dengeki Pikachu, often translated to Pokemon The Electric Tale of Pikachu. And yes, it does have the comic on the back cover, which is cute, but I really wanted to bring it up separately just to highlight the alternate art for the super chunky Pikachu and some of the cool creatures inside, like this badass Haunter. So the next genre of secret covers I want to bring up is what I like to call the simple title, and I wanted to highlight them in 2 different styles. First, we have Uchu Kyodai, aka Space Brothers on the left, and the Kurosagi Corpse Delivery Service on the right. And looking at the covers, they use almost the same diagonal front to back configuration to form their covers, and it's simple, it's clean, it could be a Kingdom Hearts theme song, I don't know. And I wanted to compare that big, masculine, blocky, seinen font with a more refined palette. So here we have Chiafaru, which is a josei, and Natsume Jinsho, which is a shoujo. It's just another set of secret covers listing the title and publishers, but it's less in your face about it. This next manga, Aka 13, kind of fuses together some things we've seen before. Here we have a monochrome muted image, but it almost acts as a one-panel little comic, offering a little glimpse into the world building of the series, and like Midnight Diner, really doesn't offer any branding besides on the spine. Fitting of this next manga series, the very wild Oyasumi Poon Poon, here we have the last 2 volumes, is the genre of wild variation between secret covers. It's also the genre of cat interrupting, so pay him no mind. He's just trying to color coordinate with the manga, so he was waiting his turn, which is okay. Anyway, sorry for the interruption, back to the video. I love how different these 2 covers are. You would almost not even expect them to be in the same series, but that's kind of fitting. And it's a fun comparison to the series Ping Pong, which has no variation in its secret covers, with a flat, matte, brown background. But one little thing I do like about it is on the first page, they actually match the color of the title of the volumes. You can see the orange versus the purple, and it's just another nice little touch that's considerate. Continuing on with our wild theme, we have Hyoge Mono, also known as Jocular Fellow. And this secret cover really surprised me, and I actually wish I knew more about it. But essentially on the back, we have not Japanese, not English, we have Danish, at least in my version of Volume 11. I know Pluto has English on the back of it, despite being the Japanese edition, but I'm very interested if other volumes of Hyoge Mono have other languages, just spelling out historical information like that. This next manga hopefully needs no introduction, the unbelievably satisfying Sayonara Zetsubo Sensei. True to its form as a zany comedy, Sayonara Zetsubo Sensei has a pretty amusing little gag just for noticing that there's a secret cover. Hey, don't look. Die Dark probably has the least secret cover we've talked about yet, with the dust jacket being transparent, so it will show the image beneath as you slide it up, and you can almost reveal the character underneath the disguise. I love how they did this, it looks so cool, and yeah, it just, it looks awesome. Finally, in our off-kilter and weird genre, we have Hoku Hokusei ni Kumo to Ike, or Go with the Clouds, North by Northwest. This isn't as zany or off the wall as some of the other ones. You have a nice image of the Icelandic countryside, but what I find interesting is that the printing just stops on the back side, just doesn't make it end to end, and I don't know how I feel about that, but it's unique nonetheless. Our next cover is an example of a trend that I'm not the biggest fan of, but I guess I don't mind it. In Ezoken ni wa Teo desu na. Here we have a neat visual of Asakusa as well as the cool contraptions and mechanisms she creates, which as you can see is copied directly from the contents of the manga, which I think is neat because of the colors and visuals of it, but I wish it was original. I'm sorry, but I need the table back. We need a bit more room for these last two genres. So do you remember those magazine anthologies? Here we have 6 different manga from Shonen Jump from across different decades. They all use the same JC for Jump Comics logo across their back cover, with slight different personal touches to jazz it up a bit. But they still offer differences in their front cover variation, from the monochrome Gintama that we talked about, to the green monochrome from Dr. Stone, to the simple title of Chainsaw Man with the English across the bottom, to the consistency of a Toriyama cover with Dragon Ball and Dr. Slump, and finally to JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And finally, since I know you're going to ask, here's the evolution of how their covers evolved. So we have Part 3, Part 1, Part 2, Part 4, Part 5, Part 6, Part 7, Part 8, and as of recording this, since Part 9 is not out yet, I'll give you Kishibe Rohan wa Ugo Kanai, or Thus Spoke Rohan Kishibe, to satisfy your desire. And since we're here, and I don't want to drag it out too long, I do want to give a shout out to Araki's author notes at the end of each volume. They are some of the funniest in the business, and I highly recommend you checking them out. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. Let me know if you guys enjoyed it, if we should do more short form content like this, and let me know which of these secret covers were your favorite, and if there's any from manga that you own that I didn't cover. Thanks so much, have a great day, we'll see you in the next one. Peace.